I think it's evident from the title of my talk that I'm not here to motivate you. I think you've had enough of that already. Too many YouTube videos, success stories, people telling you that you're all capable, you'll all be successful. But I'm not going to say that because it's just not true. Most of you will not be successful. So instead of coming here and painting a nice rosy picture, I'm going to be honest with you. But I will give you a practical method of knowing your future, so to speak, of whether you will be successful or not. And I'm going to do this in the next 20 minutes. Just to get started, I want to understand how many of you are already successful? कितने लोग already successful हैं? अपने हाथ ऊपर करें. Put your hands up if you're already successful. Okay. अच्छा, कितने लोग कल successful होंगे? How many of you will become successful tomorrow? Put your hands up. Tomorrow does not mean future. एक second. Tomorrow does not mean future. Tomorrow means literally tomorrow, October 23, 2016. How many of you are going to be successful October 23, 2016? Put your hands up. Okay, so what is that difference? जो लोगों ने भी हाथ खड़ा करा future सोच के versus कल, difference क्या है दोनों में? You know, with my research with people, some of the companies that I'm currently training people at, so when you talk about people who are experts at companies as big as United Nations, Adobe, L'Oreal, etc., you talk to people who are students from NMIMS, Delhi University, IM. All my research I've done in the last couple of years, work with about 5,000 plus people. Mainly that's the whole concept. Comes down to money. हमारे पास पैसा नहीं है, इसलिए हम successful नहीं हैं. Correct? And just to verify my research, I want to throw a question to you all. Right? Imagine अगर आप एक लॉटरी जीत जाते हो 10 करोड़ रुपए की, एक्साइटेड मत होना. 10 करोड़ रुपए तुम जीत जाते हो, you won a lottery of 10 crores. Okay, think about it. How many of you guys over here will say that I'll be successful once you win that lottery of 10 crores? How many of you would say I'll be successful 10 crores? How many of you literally right now, if you got 4,000 crores today, would not put up your hand and say, I would be successful? Right? Most of the people would sort of feel that they're sorted. Right? Actually, it turns out that it doesn't work that way. Right? Because most of our decisions are made based on money, right? Here's a study that was done with lottery winners. जब लोग almost about 4,000 crore जीत गए, right? उनके study हुआ था. Within 1 year, pretty accurate. Within 1 year, their satisfaction, happiness, everything goes back to the way it was before they won anything. There's no change at all. 4,000 crore रुपए, right? Multiple studies, you know, why winning Powerball won't keep you happy. Case of lottery, why winners are not as happy as you might think. And on the other side, there's another converse side to it, that poverty does not lead to depression. Right? So just because we're poor does not mean we're going to be depressed. There's a study done among the homeless and slum dwellers of Calcutta. And most of the people, जिनके पास कुछ भी नहीं था, सड़क पे रहते थे, उनका happiness level, friendship, morality, और इन सारे constructs पे, they fared as well as university students. So why is that? When getting more money does not lead to any difference over the long run, why is it that we're still chasing it? What do you think is the reason? The answer is in the form of this little quiz over here. Which circle in the middle is bigger? कौन सा circle बीच वाला बड़ा है? Right वाला तुम्हारा right या तुम्हारा left? Left. Actually, a trick question है. Both are equal, right? But which one appears to be bigger? Obviously the left, right? Why? Because it's surrounded by smaller circles around it. So are you getting the idea? जब आप एक, let's say from a Alto, you buy a BMW, you no longer compare yourself with the neighbor who doesn't have a car, right? Who do you compare yourself with? The Lamborghinis and the Porsche and whatnot. So now you want a Porsche, right? The person who's desperately interested in getting into the IIMs, writing the CAT, wishing that they get an IIM, and I've done this research firsthand, right? Gets into IIM and says, you know what, अगर मेरा NMIMS में भी हो जाएगा तो I'll be happy, right? Gets to IIM, not ABC but Indore, right? Gets to IIM Indore, within 2 months says, यार इसमें क्या हो गया? IIM Ahmedabad तो नहीं गया ना? You talk to a guy who goes to IIM Ahmedabad, he says, so what? इतने सारे लोग आए यहाँ, best placement तो नहीं मिली ना? Harvard तो नहीं गया ना? Dr. Guy Howard, he said, so what? Bill Gates तो नहीं बना ना? Full scholarship पे तो नहीं आया ना यहाँ पे? Right? Same example use. Pick any person right now who has an iPhone 6s. उनकी self-esteem जो drop हुई है ना पिछले 2 महीने में. It's unimaginable. That used to be the king, queens, and now suddenly they have people coming and showing them iPhone 7, and they're like, screw you. Right? Everything is relative. Whatever you get, you're always going to be in a different category. So when you get out of that small circle, you jump into you get more money, you get more, better university, better whatever. You're suddenly comparing yourself with the big fish, and you're back to the same story again. Right? And because of this obsession and this myth in your head, which has been drilled down by your parents, by society, by everyone, pretty much, that money is the way out, you're going to be making stupid career choices. What would I like to do for 10 hours a day? That's not the question you're going to think about. You're going to say, कितना पैसा मिल रहा है मुझे वो बताओ. 10 घंटे जो करने देखी जाएगी. It's like, you're actually really good at hockey, but आप बोल रहे हो कि नहीं यार क्रिकेट में ज़्यादा स्कोप है. क्रिकेट आता नहीं है हमें. ट्राई करा था बहुत मुश्किल था, लेकिन स्कोप ज़्यादा है. तो let's go play cricket. You might struggle, you might like somehow make it to a state level team. You're never going to be a Sachin Tendulkar. Right? It's obvious. So you're going to be asking this question based on that myth in your head, paisa is equal to success, therefore the job that pays more is equal to success. And that's what you do, and that's what you're going to be hearing from your friends. Finance job, why? Because finance jobs pay more, right? That's the reason why India does not have Olympic goals, right? Because you're picking fields your parents have told you to pick, or the society deems is on an average getting paid more, right? So you compromise your potential. And this is a funny story that happened to me. I was in the gym, one guy, casting director, came up to me. He said, listen, you want to try your hand at modeling? He's like, it's going to pay 10,000 bucks, few hours of work, no big deal, easy money, right? So I said, sounds, and because something when it sounds too good to be true, I've learned that it's not, right? And I understood the whole casting couch scene. So I told him that, listen, I'm okay with it, sounds like a good plan, but I'm looking for clean work. Okay? I'm desperate nahi hu kaam ke liye, and mujhe clean work chahiye. He's like, and he looks at me like I said something most bizarre. Right? He's like, what do you mean clean work? I said, I want clean work. How do I explain to you what clean work means? Right? He said, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. Right? आपको कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. He said it on my face, right? And I'm thinking, I can't believe this guy is telling me right now. So I said, no, I'm not going to do any of that. Right? I'm not desperate. I'm okay. Like, so he said, क्यों? And it's the weirdest question ever. He said, क्यों? It's like, how do I answer this question? What do you mean क्यों? Like, because I'm straight, right? He said, आपको कैसे पता? I was like, what the hell do I say to him? He's like, आपको कैसे पता? And I'm thinking, I was like, why am I thinking about this? Right? So I said, I don't know what to say. So I ended up saying, listen, I've tried it, that's why I know. Okay, now stop. Right? The guy was very disappointed. I don't want to disappoint you. Nothing's going to happen. Stop. He's like, but you haven't tried it. Right? I was like, oh my God, how persistent is this guy? Which means that there's thousands of people ready to do anything and everything to get into the business. Right? And I'm not judging. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong or anything. Whatever works for you, right? But the point is that you don't even know that's what you want. Right? You have no idea that's what you want. And the fact is that 90% more people in the business are actually suffering from low self-esteem and insecurity. Right? And that just goes on to show that you're going for something you don't even want and you're still willing to compromise your entire life for it. Same thing happens in the corporate world. Number of people who are looking for the money, taking the work home, right? Spending extra time at work, missing out on the family time. And because they think that extra money, the promotion, the increment, or whatever they're going to get by working harder is going to lead to more money for the family, which is then going to lead to more success. And we've just seen that's not true. Right? So, if you're going through a torture of 9 hours a day, thinking that because you're getting get short-term money, you're never going to achieve greatness, because no great person in the world has been tortured for 9 hours a day and still achieved maximum success in that area. आप सब ये reasons दोगे, आप बोलोगे कि there's too much risk. We understand that we have to be practical. What about the risk? What will people say? What about the pressure on us? We can't get out of comfort zone because we might fail in future. You're going to keep giving excuses and wishing, all sorts of excuses, right? Timing. You have enough time for Game of Thrones, watching Friends 20 times until you remember the episodes by heart, right? Snapchatting, Instagramming, watching cute cat and dog videos all the time. You've got enough time for that, right? You don't have time for working on your passion, right? And you're going to keep wishing. You're going to keep wishing also, oh, I wish I was like this guy. I wish I was as smart. I wish I had a business as big, right? I wish I had a six-pack like this guy. I wish I had the brains. I wish I had this. I wish I could write as well. Right? Guess what? You're never going to amount to that greatness because any person who's great, who you're wishing you were, you don't know what they've spent their time doing every day, 12 hours a day, for 10 years before you actually started noticing them. And if I were to give you a script and you tell me, I wish I was this or that, and I told you, okay, you want to be with this person? Here's the script. Live this life for 10 years, and you'll walk away. Right? I always say everyone wants to be Sachin Tendulkar. No one wants to wake up at 5 in the morning and work. Go for the drills, eat healthy, be disciplined, and all those things. But you just want to wish. Right? And that's one of the signs, one of the reasons why you're not going to earn as much as you deserve. Okay? So I'm going to give you a little something on how do you pick the right career. Right? And earn more. And no matter how many times you've heard this before, the most cliched thing ever, the most hardest still is forgetting about the money in the short term and looking into your passion. What is something that you're really interested in? And asking yourself the questions, if money was not a concern, what would you do? If no one gave a shit, what would you do? If parents, teachers, anyone didn't really say anything, what would you do? Right? What career would you pick? If you weren't scared of the competition, what would you do? And then you talk about, of course, you have to be practical, right? So, if you're picking up something on the side which is not your core work, even if it's a 9-to-5 job, you can pick something beyond 5 and see how much progress you can make, how much you can build on that, right? Whether you can generate income. Give yourself a deadline and stop worrying about the world for 5 years, if you can. Stop worrying about the short-term money for the 5 years. And some of you will do all this, but still not become successful. There was this guy, I was coaching I was just coaching for a mock interview and he came in, most brilliant guy that I've come across in the last 6 months. And he was going to pursue his dream, he was going to represent India, but then he met with an accident. Massive accident, so couldn't go for it. And so he then decided to pursue his interest in financial markets, left his home state of Hyderabad, came to Mumbai all the way just because of the financial capital. Right? Enrolled himself in a course despite his parents having less money. He put a burden on his parents because he took the risk and he had the confidence. Right? Within a year and a half, he taught himself everything, a lot more than an MBA. Right? Started working, started trading, and the only TY student I've ever met who's trading and has consistently made a profit in the last 6 months. To the point he started sending money home. Imagine a guy who's sending money home in the TY doing full-time college, right? Sending 30,000 home and managing his expenses and he has the audacity to tell me that there's nothing he can be proud of. And I told him, I was like, listen, you're a brilliant guy, but you're not going to be successful. Because you didn't work on your skill, you didn't build your confidence, you're not self-aware. And the biggest reason why you're not going to be successful is you're waiting to get there. There is no there, guys. There is no there, you never get there. Never. I can give it to you in writing. Ambani hasn't gotten there. His goal now is to get 100 million subscribers for Jio. He's still not there. You're never going to get there. This guy's sitting here, he's doing everything possible. He's doing everything he can. To me, he's successful. And I'm sure you would all agree with it. I'm sure his parents won't expect anything more. And this guy is telling me that he's not successful, right? Because he's not there. And a person who's living his life, waiting to get there, and disturbed, anxious, not developing his skills, low in confidence, etc., is not going to be successful for sure. There's no way. That's just not how successful people run their lives. And there's a Harvard study done on this, where the only thing really that you need to be successful and be happy is तुम्हें मालूम है तुम्हें कहाँ जाना है और तुम वहाँ जा रहे हो. That you're headed there. That's all. You can't be there. You can be headed there. And the fact that you're headed there itself is the only thing that matters. One thing is that you don't want greatness. A lot of the students have come to me and said, no, what if I really want to be a housewife? And I want to marry a rich guy. That's cool. If you're happy with it, great. Right? What if I want to live off my dad's money? Right? That's cool. That's great. If that makes you happy, fine, great. But if you want greatness, you have to be willing to do a few things. And you got to pick those things, and you know what those things are. The first and most important, obviously, for this age group is, am I in the right career? Am I being driven by money, or am I being driven by my interest? That's the number one thing. Do I have the courage to move out of a career that I'm not interested in? For the people who are a little older. Do I have the courage to explore and find out what that area is for me? Right? Can I stop making excuses? Right? Can I stop blaming the world and the people around me? Can I take accountability for my actions? Can I make things happen instead of wishing things to happen? Right? Can I stop complaining all the time? Can I start taking a little bit of risk? Can I get out of my comfort zone? Can I not give a shit about what people are saying and judging and ridiculing me? And can I look them in the eye and say, it's okay, I know you're not going to understand me. It's okay, chill. We'll talk after 5 years. No one saw Einstein in the first 10 years. He worked in a menial job overnight. He had a second job where he developed his theory of relativity. No one saw him. No one's going to see you 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Right? But you're going to know. You're going to know whether you're successful today or not. And you don't have to wait to get there. Right? That's it. So, the only decision is, am I willing to do one of these things today? And if you're able to do it, that's it. So think about it and answer the question before putting up your hands. How many of you, October 23, 2016, are going to be successful? Put up your hands. Good luck. Thank you.